is a better character, Black Adam, Shazam, or Superman? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda. What makes a character better than another? Power, experience, feats of strength, complexity, or simply nuance? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Experience. Ultimately, what a lot of people point to when they say that Black Adam is better than Shazam is that he's much more experienced. Black Adam is of course, fully grown adult and has been alive for a long time, whereas Shazam is still a kid who simply masquerades as an adult. Or, depending on which version of, Shazam we're talking about. Black Adam is also a man with years of experience operating as a vigilante when he acted as the ruthless protector of Kahndaq, and has tons more experience when it comes to his power set and control over his own magical lightning, which currently are both granted to him by the pantheon of Egyptian gods, in contrast to Billy Batson's Greek god pantheon, which is where he gets his powers from. Hence Shazam, which all Shazam fans know. It's an acronym! And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, and if you love Black Adam, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you don't like Black Adam, still give this video a thumbs up. Number 9. Freed the people of Kahndaq. When it comes to Black Adam's origin, he actually got a better one than Shazam in my opinion, at least a better retconned one. As it stands, Black Adam in the Prime Earth continuity ended up freeing the people of Kahndaq who had become enslaved. However, the cost of doing this was great, because Amun, his nephew, was actually granted the powers of Shazam and wanted to use them to free Kahndaq peacefully. However, Adam was worried that this plan would not work, believing that their oppressors must be eliminated. So he was forced to kill his nephew in order to take the power of Shazam solely for himself. He also had the power of Shazam because, you can share it with people, but yeah, he wanted it all for himself, becoming Mighty Adam. As hard as this was for him, he felt the sacrifice was for the greater good. And while we'll never know what could have happened had they tried to free Kahndaq Amun's way, we do know that Adam's way ended up working, with him becoming known as a hero for the nation until he went against the Council of Eternity and was imprisoned. Of course, Kahndaq didn't know that. All they knew was he just disappeared. Number 8. Origin. This origin for Black Adam perhaps makes him a more interesting character than that of Billy Batson. He's definitely more complex, way less wholesome, and even sometimes kinda evil, but this also makes him more well-rounded. With Black Adam's story, there is great sacrifice, conflict, and moral dilemma. With Billy Batson's origins, everything is kept fairly light and simple. Billy is often presented as an orphan who was chosen to become Shazam because of his purity of heart, being seen as a force for good. But that's not really as interesting as someone, having to save the enslaved people of their country and question the morality of how best to do it, and what that freedom might end up costing. Number 7. Single-handedly beat an alien invasion. Back in the day when Black Adam was the champion of Kahndaq after freeing his people, he actually single-handedly defeated an alien invasion, super casually too. This was like right after he freed his people. Later he learns from Sinestro that these beings were basically world killers known as the Paling. Black Adam faced their champion, the Pale Bishop, in single combat, ultimately turning the tides and defeating them, all by himself. And even more insane, the Pale Bishop turned out to be a guardian of Oa. He ended up of course returning in the Sinestro series because he is a guardian, but it was still pretty impressive that Black Adam ever did this to begin with even. Number 6. Justice Society. While the Justice Society of America is generally a group associated with Shazam, you could argue that Black Adam does this better perhaps even than Billy Batson, or at least, stole his thunder, pun intended. Stole his lightning, I guess I should say. Which might seem like a crazy thing to say, but also might not if we're talking about the DCEU. In the DC Extended Universe, the Justice Society actually appears first not in a Shazam film, but in the Black Adam film. While this doesn't mean of course that Black Adam is the leader or even a key member of the Justice Society, in fact it's probably more the other way around, I just think it's really funny that he's kind of hijacked the team in a way for his own film. Though I'm still hoping we'll get to see Shazam join their ranks in the DCEU. Fingers crossed. Number 5. Survivor. When the Justice League are targeted by Pariah at the beginning of the Dark Crisis event in Justice League issue number 75, Black Adam ends up as the only survivor of this. A member of the League, Black Adam is there with them when they end up trapped, fighting clones of some of their greatest villains, with Black Adam even successfully killing a clone of Darkseid. They square off and Black Adam ends up in a one-on-one fight against Pariah. While he doesn't win and the Justice League, minus himself, do all end up seemingly dead, Instead, Black Adam at least manages to survive this fight and actually crashes back to Earth, able to tell everyone what has happened. The fact that he even survived this battle, I think, kind of puts him on a different level than Shazam. There's also the fact that Shazam wasn't even there, when, I don't know, he probably should have been there. When asked to join the League by Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, Shazam doesn't even lament not being there to help. He simply responds with, "Are you sure you want to trust Black Adam?" Like, geez, Shazam, shouldn't you be like, "Man, I feel really bad that this all happened. Of course I'll help you with the Justice League because I wasn't even around to help at the time and now they're all dead." Number 4. Dark Crisis. During the Dark Crisis event, Black Adam was left as the last man standing as part of the Justice League. For a short time, he decided to take up the role of leader, but this really only lasted a few issues as he realized all the young heroes weren't really at the level that he needed them to be. Ever a believer in strong leadership, he realized he needed to join up with a team who understood what it took to get things done when the whole world, nay, the whole multiverse, was at stake. So he left and joined back up with the Legion of Doom. Now, some might see this as a negative, as proof that Black Adam is not as good as Shazam because he didn't choose to stay with the League. But the way I see it, Black Adam is actually trying to 1. Stop Deathstroke, which is honestly super important at that time, and 2. Save the world, and he sees that having squabbles about the right way to do that is really only distracting from actually getting that job done. Based on where he was at, I think he made the right call ultimately, and while the Legion did succumb to the infection of the cosmic darkness, Black Adam would live to see another day. He would end up rejoining the League after they saved him, which also gave them an opportunity though to get a better scan of the infected Deathstroke and his darkness-infected army. Number 3. Willing to do what needs to be done. While his plan in Dark Crisis didn't quite work out as he'd hoped, there are many times that Black Adam's willingness to take the less savory route has paid off. I mean, it worked out for him way back when he became the defender of Kahndaq, known as Mighty Atom, but also even worked out for him when he was temporarily freed from imprisonment to help a group of heroes defeat the Frost King. This was way back in the days of the 10th century and took place in the comics in the crossover story Endless Winter, which crossovered through a lot of stuff. Back in the 10th century, the Frost King threatened the entire world, and as such the wizard Shazam, known as Mama Rogan, petitioned to free Black Adam temporarily so that he might lend his power to the fight. The wizard agreed, and in the end it was Black Adam who was able to find a way to draw the Frost King out so he might actually be defeated back then, by targeting his human family. Something that the then Justice League of old disagreed with, but in the end Black Adam's plan ultimately worked. Number 2. More mature. While Billy Batson in his Shazam form has the wisdom of Solomon to call upon, he is still, at the end of the day, a kid. Granted, this doesn't always mean that he makes the wrong call. In fact, sometimes his childish naivete and his somewhat immature nature actually help him to make the right calls. But still, at the end of the day, you don't want your superhero to be a kid inhabiting the body of a superpowered adult, do you? That sounds at times like it would be, I don't know, a recipe for disaster. Like when he got back at a family whose kids were basically mistreating his foster brother by wrecking their car, like literally destroying it. Not very super heroic, Billy. However, it also depends on who is writing Shazam or Captain Marvel as to how his maturity levels and mentality is portrayed while in a superhero form. There is a given with Black Adam though, he never has the mentality of a child, for better or for worse, and in most cases, I would actually say this makes him a stronger character and definitely gives him more of a ruthless edge in comparison. Number 1. Toss Shazam in the ocean. Well, this Black Adam is no longer considered part of the main continuity, or I don't know, maybe he is, because now all the continuities are kind of one and all alternate futures are basically like Elseworlds in the DC multiverse at the time of this recording anyways. This version of Black Adam, main continuity or no, certainly bested Shazam and Billy Batson in one foul swoop. Back in the 1970s Shazam series, in issue number 28, Black Adam uses Shazam's own magic word against him, managing to put him in the path of his own lightning. After transforming him back to Billy Batson, he ties him up and then tosses him in the ocean. Though admittedly, this is after Shazam did punch Black Adam hard enough to cause him to travel 200 years into the past, which Shazam then follows him to for some reason. Oh, the 70s, what a weird time. This whole fight is all over the place, but I kinda love it. That last one, woo, it's a doozy. Are you going to see Black Adam in theaters? Have you seen it already? I want to know in the comments. By the time this video drops, I will have just watched it, so I'm eager to know your thoughts as well. That's it for this one. Till next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.